Okay, so today I'm in my tent and I'm going to tell you for the past 4 years has happened to me. First, it was my Wonder bracelets. And what did the Wonder bracelet help me with? Just like everybody else, and you've seen a bunch of people already, it's because it's about breathing. It is always about breathing better. Breathing better, that gave me a very conclusive result, meaning or evidence that decay and low radiation is what affecting us as people get older or people who are ultra EMF sensitivity. I might be even that too. I'm not sure which, but sometimes I'm like, oof, horrible. But anyway, so that's the first thing about the Wonder bracelet. Then I started to get energy, which some people have. People notice right away that it changes. It changes right away. It changed them right away within hours. Some people feels like they're more relaxed and they're more calm. Remember, this is all happening to me, okay? But I'm just referring to people have reported to me so far. It helps me with my headaches. That was the first thing that got me really good, especially when I had my car. I bought my first car. It was tough because I didn't know, and until I try that, that's when everything changes. Then the next one, I think, was fatigue. I was always tired. I was always weak. I guess you can say, I don't know, maybe because it makes me fatigue, and that's also too evidence of decay. And why? Because I started to feel that as you sleep, you are actually discharging decay, and that's how I made a discovery of when we sleep. When we sleep, we actually relieves decay radiation. So decay radiation can leave our body, and then that way you wake up and you feel fresh and things like that. So the more you sleep, the more decay radiation leaving. And then when there's nothing left, you actually wake up on your own. Yes. Some of these things you're going to hear in this video that you will never hear it anywhere else, because most of it is my discoveries. So good radiation actually will wake you up. For example, just an example, because I haven't talked to my 1 to 10 yet. My 1 to 10 will wake me up automatically as soon as the sun comes up, because that's a good radiation. To a certain time, boom, it wakes me up. I can actually be in my tent and can tell what time of the day it is. If it's sunny out, as soon as I wake up and I see that clock, or not even looking at the clock, I can actually feel the tent, and I can tell you if it's sunny out or what or whatever. So the sun actually wakes you up, and you don't even know it. When you're in your 1 to 10, you will understand this, and you cannot sleep further because you expel all the decay. You can't sleep. Basically, that's what it is. Anyway, so the next things on that is my back pains. The bracelet helps tremendously with back pain. And then just sometimes the pain period, like if I was running or if I play basketball and I come back and I feel tired or something, I just put the bracelet on. And that's when I started to realize what pain really is. Pain is caused by decay radiation, and as it leaves, you actually feel them. Although, please don't overwork your body. Like one of the video that I did before about that old man. I know some of you have seen it, but anyway, please don't be like him. Anyway, because he's getting old and he just bouncing all over. I just saw him like a few hours, 2 hours ago, and oh my God, he's bouncing around again. But anyway, then I discovered I was allergic to oil or mineral oil and glycerine, which is through soap. And because of that, I get inflammations. And then when I put my bracelet on, it helps with my inflammation. And that's when I made the discovery how inflammation works and how arthritis actually works. And that's the inflammation itself causes arthritis. And I was like, I am too young to have arthritis. Hello? What is going on? And that's when I start to realize that inflammation is heat, is your body fighting, and it creates a lot of heat. As you know now, if you listen to this, you're going to understand your body, and you're going to understand what I'm saying. So when it created too much, it leads to you feeling in your bones. Yep. And that's how it causes arthritis. That's when I discovered arthritis. And then I started to feel my body feels really good. I get extra energy. Things like my nail grows faster. My hair grows faster. And my energy changed like overall. And then next things you know, depending on how I am, I have not figured out with 100% with the bracelet at this point yet. So at this point, sometimes I get a woody and then sometimes I don't. Woody mean I have hard-ons. And then when I tested on my dog with the bracelet, with the double coil, it's in one of the videos I showed it with the double coil. I think I'm going to make that video soon. It's stainless steel and then copper together, two coils together. And somehow that turned into a woody. And I used to get up and I used to get hard-ons. I'm like, what is going on? And then sometimes I sleep with it and sometimes I don't. And then I started to realize that's what it's doing. So by having my woody, I know that my reproductive hormones, they call it, must have went extra. And or something called estrogen or testosterone. Now I'm going to get into that in a minute, but that's what's happening, I believe, because my hormones has changed, or extra hormones. Because of my extra energy, I feel like because of that, my muscle increases, my bones feels better, or bone feels stronger, or stronger bones or whatever, which I cannot and I won't be able to unless I took x-rays to know that, but I haven't. So that's the only speculation, because I felt really strong. Remember, once you feel you breathe better, I think that's what happened. And then the hair grows and longer hair, and that's when I started to notice that, wait a minute, something has changed. I grow a lot faster, like hair grows a lot faster, and my nails. And nail and hair is keratin. Yes, nail and hair, and we're gonna talk about that in a minute when I talk about the 1 to 10. So that's what's happening so far with the bracelet. Although it doesn't change drastically, it took about my back took about 3 months. But I felt it right away, but I knew after 3 months. It was sooner than that, but after 3 months. Of course, I made plenty more discoveries after that. I made discoveries of how breathing in the sun, that's another one too. It helps me to go in the sun. It helps me to do like the chores for my gram. Like mowing her lawns and things like that, and doing garden stuff. I can be out there all day, all night, and that's when I knew that what the bracelet did for me. Because it's changed something, which is my energy, and then, and also good brain function too. I'd like to add that one. So then, when I invented the Wonder Tent, as you know, I always wanted to go further than what I could, because I said air. What about the air that we breathe? So I invented the Wonder Rays, which is coming pretty soon. Okay, I invented the Wonder Ray. And then I started to figure out that I cannot turn it on and off all the time, because we have to work with the sun. And remind you, that's the first time I started to realize that I have to work with the sun. So then I experimented that for about 2 years, off and on. And then I started to realize is that that's what's going. That's what is happening. So then I said, okay, what if I take that out of the air? Remember, I talked about that in one of my videos. I said, I'm going to try to take it out of the air, because, we all breathe it. But how? And when I figured that my dog just, running up and down the stairs, or when he plays with me and stuff like that, and he started to, sneeze, and that's when I realized is what was going on, that it's actually decay settling. Yes, and it's just stuck there for hours and hours until morning. But when he runs in the morning, it doesn't do that much, but he runs at night, it does a lot. So that's when I realized what's doing. And of course, all the things I said in here, no one ever in human history, no textbooks, no scientists, no physicists, nobody knows about these stuff that I'm talking in this video. So yeah, it is a major, major discovery. And then, so the Wonder Ray proved a little bit, but then I have to shut it off. I cannot have it on all the time. It taught me a lot, and it taught me a lot of things that I have to work with the sun. So then I said, okay, maybe because of my dog, because of Benny, thank you, Benny, taught me a huge lesson about how things settle. And that's when I knew that how I have to block it. And here's another one, that if you have carpet, and if you have polyester carpet, and if you run up and down or walk back and forth and stuff, you can actually zap people with it. Yeah, because you are collecting. I didn't know that either. Yup. I'll make a video how I collect about my dog later. But anyway. So then that's when I discovered how hair works. I said, Benny have his hair. What is the function of hair? It took me about a year to actually figure out what hair is and hair does and all this stuff, which, yes, I'll make those videos later. So then I said, okay, what if I cover myself with wool? I cover myself with wool. I cover myself with polyester. Ooh, when I put polyester, oh my God, I was about to rip that crap and throw it across the room. It was horrible. Then I put acrylic, and acrylic was okay, but then acrylic doesn't work as good as wool. So that confirms me what wool does. And then I tested further and further and further. And as I switch back and forth, and then that's when I discover how to sleep during the day, because I slept during the day just to prove a few things. And I slept during the day with the tent. I said, huh? How come the night behaved differently? Huh? How come the day behaved differently? So then when I started to realize that what day and night, and also how I have to work with the sun. So then I said, huh? This is very weird. As you can saw some of my testing, how I said it behaved differently. It's because it's how of all these tests. And yes, I have been on a very long road. So that's when I started to discover a lot of things that actually ties into decay radiation and low radiation. And because of my sleep videos, and because how I described about the sleep, about all that stuff, that's when I realized that's what's going on. And that was the further proof of decay and low radiation. Yes. That was the first time that confirms me everything. After just few months, and now this is the 1 to 10. After a few months, I noticed that I breathe better every single day I get out of it. I pee better. I have no headaches. My body feels calm. My body feels relaxed. I no longer hurt. And my cuts, or anytime I have a little cut or something, it heals really fast. The fatigue, the back pains, some of this is all about the bracelet. And that's what made the confirmation. The 1 to 10 made the confirmation of all of my inventions, which is 3 of them so far. To prove something, and it's always, and it will always, and I will do the day until I die, I will always said that low and decay radiation is what hurting us all. And that's when I realized what wireless and Wi-Fi's and cell phones and cell towers and now 5G, but anyway, will be doing to all of our body. And if you are one of those people and you're listening to this so far, you will know what it does to our body. And you will know and you will understand this video 100%. So because of all that, like my back pains, and I don't feel no pains, and then I started to feel like no inflammation. Like even if I started to eat oil, I have less inflammation. I say, huh? I used to like allergic to things, so it helps a little bit with that, although I wouldn't recommend it, okay? Because inflammation, as far as I can understand this inflammation, is actually a rejection. I will make that video later because this is not about that. But inflammation, remember, inflammation will lead to arthritis. And that's why I say arthritis doesn't exist. Arthritis, they have it all wrong because arthritis is by a cause, which is caused by inflammation. Inflammation is what causes arthritis, or because of inflammation, arthritis exists. But in reality, arthritis does not exist because it's a cause. And that's when I knew, and that's when it confirms me even more That's what it's doing. So the more decay radiation and the more low radiation you are breathing in, you are absorbing in, and you're breathing in, and you exercise and all that stuff, and it creates more, that's when you're going to know that you're going to have inflammation and you're going to have arthritis. Plain and simple. Then, another one would be my no discharge, which I just did a video recently. And phlegm. If I eat something, like gungs of phlegm comes out naturally. Like I can just get it out naturally. And that's when it made even more. As soon as my body getting better and better and better and better, I get more discharge, more phlegms. And sometimes if I eat something wrong or something and my body doesn't like, phlegm will come out. But normal discharge, no discharge is actually normal, and that's just made that video recently. As I stated before, like no bone pains or arthritis or anything. And like I said, I'm too young to have arthritis. And that's when I knew that allergies, internal allergies, created inflammation. Then inflammation creates arthritis and others. Okay? So that's when I knew. And then when my dog sleeps in the tent, I started to see him have woodies as well. And sometimes he doesn't, sometimes he does. And the funny thing is, erectile dysfunction, very important, which I'll make this video later. It's very important because decay. And that's why people have to exercise. If you are known as EMF sensitivity, you have to exercise even extra. But here's the problem. When you exercise harder, or like me, how I play sports, I feel really good after. But here's the problem. I would have to sleep more to get the decay out or leave my body. So when that happens, when I invented the bracelet, that's when I knew. And then the 1 to 10 was the confirmation. Yeah. So then, the best of all is about energy. I get a lot of extra energy. I am very strong. I feel like really strong. And I guess this is related to hormones. Meaning that means you're producing hormones, or your body's producing extra hormones, which led to estrogens or testosterone. And testosterone is hair grow, nail grow, my voice. Oh, this is another one. My voice changed when I get out of the tent. In the morning, my voice is very deep. And here's the thing. When you are young, or when you were a little kid, when you reach that puberty stage, your hair grows a lot faster, or your nails even, and your voice and your muscle strength gets stronger. So that tells you its hormones change because of the 1 to 10 and testosterone. Testosterone is what causes hair to grow, nails, voice, muscle strength, and deeper voice. Yes. So because of that, I knew that my body's producing healthy cells or producing healthy blood cells. And that's what lead to breathing better, pee better, and everything, fatigue and all that stuff to get to better. And then, so I knew that my blood is being good, and it maintained my bones, and it produced my productive, because I get hard-ons. So because of that, I know for a fact, although I need to test it, of course, but I know for a fact, that's what we are increasing. We are increasing testosterone. That's how I said it, but it's called testosterone. Anyway, because of that, I know for a fact, And the extra energy, I know, and I feel strong. I know for a fact that I'm increasing my hormones. And because of increasing that, I know my muscle got stronger, and my bones, I know for a fact my bone got stronger because of hair growth. Because hair, nails, growth, and muscle strength growth, it's also associated with bone growth. Yeah. Okay, so when I know that I have extra energies and I'm strong and I have my hormones and stuff, I know for a fact that my muscle increases, my bone increases, and my hair growth and my nail grows and all that. And here it is. The first time in human history, old people will benefit from this. I swear. Only if it's not too late. But remember, nothing is never too late. It is always better late than never. So don't give up, okay? If you are one of those people and you are old and you're listening to this, don't. Make the tent and make the Wonder Bracelet and learn from it. So that way you can go this route. And why did I release all this? I release all this so I can help the people. And that's what it is. I wanted to leave something behind when I go, of course. I wanted to leave something behind so people can see that I have done something for society. That's a little bit personal about me. But so, because of all this, my health improved within about, I would say, 3 months. Then after 6 months or so, I can tell a lot about a lot of things. But that was way before 5G come to town. And now 5G is on full scale. First, I only saw one antenna. I was okay with that. Then I saw another one pop up, and another one pop up. And unfortunately, I'm in the corner lot. So you can tell right there that it's really hard to be in a corner lot because you will face that. So 3 antennas. Can you imagine 3 antennas right next to me? One is like probably 30 feet away. Yeah. Can you imagine? Just 30 feet away. And how many people use their cell phones right now? How many people pinging? There's something called pinging, which called handshake, that they don't know about even. They don't tell you either. That itself already put out some radiation already. That means the phone just ping it, meaning it tried to communicate where it is. Yup. And that's how, remember this too, that's how the FBI's and the police, or when things they investigate, they know exactly where your cell phone is. Yup, that's how they trace it. The ping, the handshake, okay? You learned something. Just remember that. But anyway, so because of that, because of the 5G, I developed new symptoms. And I couldn't make a lot of videos because the 1 to 10 wasn't out. And I had to do a lot of stuff because there was certain stuff that I couldn't say. And then if I say certain things, people would like, oh, you're just lying. Oh, you're just this. Oh, you're just that. Well, you know how it is. But anyway. So, this is so far, I hope you get a lot of stuff out of this, but so far, that is a full list, and there's more, of course. Remember something very important about this video, is that we all going to prevent autoimmune disease, which leads to cancer. So if you prevent autoimmune disease, or diseases, you will not face cancer. And that's what this is. That's what we are doing. We are only preventing. Remember that. We are only preventing cancer. And that's what we, or I myself, is trying to do. Because I know for a fact, and I know for sure now, that autoimmune disease will lead to cancer. Depending how it is. And depending how much sun you get. And that's why I probably will be now the first person in the world to advocate. Yep. I'm going to advocate about how important and how vital the sun is. Yes. Because without the Wonder Bracelet, without the Wonder 10, and without the Wonder Rays, we all avoid the sun. You know it, because you are avoiding it too. We were taught to avoid the sun. But I said this many times, the very thing that gives us life, eventually the very thing that will kill all of us. Yep. The very thing that gives everybody the energy that we need, or the electrons and the ions, is the very thing that eventually will kill us. How? Very simple. When you get older and older and older and older, or if you are what known as EMF sensitivity. Remember, EMF sensitivity doesn't exist, but because they don't know it, so they coined that word, or two, or three, or four even. I'm using it to make an example. The more sensitive you are, the more you will need the tent and the bracelet. So, in reality, if you are extra or hypersensitivity, you may need even to double your tent. Yes. So test it with one first and then see how it goes. And then if it's not strong enough, double it. Yes. First time you're going to hear something like that too, double your tent. So if you are ultra sensitivity, spend that money. I promise you, it will be all worth it. Hey, I myself is the one that went on this route. There are things that I'm not going to say because it's kind of sad, but I'm not going to say. There are sad things, personal sad things, but not anything sad. But anyway, so conclusion to this, and I hope you get something out of this. And of course, all you are doing is going to be all free. Well, you have to buy, certain parts, or you have to buy wool blankets, or you can make your own wool tent too. Yes, I am going to get and I'm going to try to crochet a huge tent. Yes. It's going to be funny, but that's one of my plans. I'm going to develop something, the 1 to 10, that made out of 100% wool, or at least 90%, because you can't get 100% strings, or what you call yarn, because they always make something extra so it can be hold on to, Another thing that I would like to test too is leaves. Yes, you heard this correctly. Leaves. That's another form of fiber. Oh boy, right? Oh boy. So, some people said, someone said something recently saying that, what if I, wool blankets? And I said no, because wool blanket, it acts similar, because wool is keratin. Feather is keratin, so it acts similar to wool, depending on how thick it is too. So you can make a tent out of it, but then you can't really breathe, because we need to breathe. And the feather has to be on the outside. You cannot block it, because you want feather to attach or absorb low and decay radiation. And so, oh, well, you can always use it underneath, but then it's going to steal your energy. So you can't really do that either. I think the best thing, though, is cotton and leaves. Yes, cotton and leaves. So we need to grind a lot of leaves up into small little things, because that's fiber. And have you noticed? Leaves is always turning brown. There's a reason for that color. Nature's trying to show us something. Also, when it's alive, it's green. Nature been telling us a lot of things we're just too stupid and we are too blind to see. I'm going to show you next how nature actually, other videos, how nature actually show us a lot of things, but we're too stupid and we're too blind to see. Even my dog had taught me a lot of things. Jeez, he taught me so many things that scientists and physicists can't even... I don't want to get into that, but anyway. So, I don't know how to really conclude this video, because it's about how I went through with all this stuff. Probably going to be tons of questions and things like that, and I don't know. Just I guess I'm going to leave these things here, and I guess I'm going to title this as the 1 to 10 frequently asked questions, maybe. And maybe I can keep that up and go through with it, and people can see things and read from it or something, you know. So if you have, like, you know, things that is not in the video, you can ask. If it's in the video, I'm going to tell you it's in the video. Because some people, they just don't want to, they don't want to watch the video, or they don't want to sit there and you know, and they get this and that. It's like everything. I'm very, as you noticed, I'm very careful during videoing, and I try to give as much as I can, and try to give things that is always positive, not negative, because I don't like those, and of course I don't like those, but sometimes it's kind of stupid. But anyway, well, put it this way, I try not to concentrate on stupid stuff. So it's kind of like, you know, some people just don't read, or some people just don't see in the descriptions, or I pin things, and oh, you name it. But anyway, so if you get like questions, or you know, additional questions or things like that, and you know, things that is on your mind, maybe I can answer some of it. If things that you know that, you know, of course, some of these are my 99.99% of these things that I've been saying so far in this video. It's all my discoveries, and people are not going to know about it. But because they don't know about it, they don't even like, you know, some people are skeptical. I mean, if you are skepticals, test it out. You know, don't go and attack me on things. Don't go and say, you know, things out of this world or whatever. Science, okay, there's one thing about my videos and one things about my videos. Science has to be concrete evidence. So basically, this video is a concrete evidence. But more people have to confirm it, of course. You might not get all of what I'm about to say in this video, but you're going to get at least 90% of it. And things are going to change in your body that you're not even going to know. Because I am so aware of my surroundings. I am so aware of things that I've noticed things right away. Like I said in some of my videos, if you throw something on top of the tent, believe me, I will tell you what kind of material. If you throw acrylic on, it behaves differently. If you throw polyester on, ooh, I do not like that. But the only thing that polyester will do, it actually blocks high radiation Low radiation is going to pass right through. Yeah, funny as that. And some people are going to make a mistake and say, oh, really? Polyester blocks radiation? No, I'm sorry. Radiation scale, it is so vast. The word is vast. Okay? Let's say, as an example, polyester can block high radiation meaning from the sun. The sun pump out, but it's a high ionized radiation. Believe it or not, high ionized radiation can be blocked with polyester. But polyester cannot block 5G or below because it's so low, it passes right through. Even though it's low, it is still strong enough to pass through. Yes. And that's what some people make mistakes of. They would criticize me, and they have no testing, no experience. I mean, for me, it's been 12 plus years on this journey. And yes, proudly to say so, and proudly to share it with the world, and proudly to say a lot of things on this video that no scientists, no physicists, no doctors even heard of or even comprehend. Yes, the word I'm going to throw in, no physicist in the world can comprehend what I have discovered. Yup. The wonder tent, the wonder bracelet, and the wonder rays will prove all that. And it's going to prove just one thing. Decay and low radiation is what hurting all of us. And of course, watch the videos, watch all of my videos. It is out of this world. It is out of this world because I found something. I found something that it was an impossible task. And because of that impossible task, I become very healthy. And oh my, you don't even know. And I'm so proud of myself, you don't even know. But you know what? I'm not one of those people who proud of myself for doing something. I'm proud of myself just for me. I don't care who you are. I don't care what it is. I don't really care if you're proud of me or not, to be honest. I used to care about those things, but I don't, no longer does. Why? Because I will never able to please anyone. I can only please myself. And, oh yeah, I please myself every day. Ha, 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 ha. Anyway. Sorry, I had to throw that joke in. I please myself a few times a day. Ha, 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 ha. Sorry, I had to throw that second joke in. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you learned something very important to all of us. And yes, this is the first time that I actually tell things about myself. My channel was never was supposed to be about me. It's supposed to be about you, and it's supposed to be about the people that watch these, which is you. But it's starting to open up a new can of worm all the time, a can of worm that I never wanted to open. My can of worm. Because there's a lot of things that I went through. There's a lot of things that, hard work. Oh, one more thing before I go. Why people play their video games. Why people play their favorite shows. Why people watch their TVs and do things and I don't even know. All the entertainment and taking a vacation even. For the past 12 years, I have never done any of those. The only time that I do is go play basketball so I can get some energy. Or energy out. More like it. Remember, exercise is energy out, not energy in. They all wrong too. So, you can tell right there that I've been on this journey, a very lonely one. Remember this. It is a very lonely journey. But in the end, it is not over yet. It's still there. I haven't found more. And I'm willing to go further. But 12 plus years, it was a very lonely road. It was a very hard road. It is so lonely that you will see so many attacks from left to right of the non-educated. I say non-educated. I didn't say uneducated, okay? I say non-educated folks. And because of that, many fights, many smirks, many laughing. They turn around and they giggles. As soon as I said radiation, as soon as I say DK radiation, and oh, someone had just recently just told me, oh, I told them about the bracelets, blah, 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 about how things work, and they tried to educate people. Just remember this. Teach those who's willing to listen. Teach those who are reaching out for help. But don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Again, do not waste your time on the people who attack you, are not willing to listen because they think they know it all. Even I myself do not know it all. Yes, I can say that. I hope I do. I hope at least 90%. I don't care about the 100. Just give me 90. That's good enough. But I can tell you right now, I do not know it all. And I don't think I ever will be, to be honest. So you can tell a lot about this video. You can tell a lot about things. And anyway, I'm making it too long, so I hope you enjoy the video and I hope you learned something about the video. And I'm going to leave this as frequently asked questions, so that way you can ask questions. And yes, I will delete all the attacks. And I hope you are not one of those. I will see you in the next video.